All right. 3 people watching, including my wife, producer, director. She's wearing the most awesome sweatshirt right now. It says allergic to mornings. Aren't we all?
Yes, good.
Oh, yes. Is that better? Come on over here. While we wait for people to get on, come on over here. Come on over here.
Too bad I can't see it.
You can't see me? Oh my God, I have to sit in front of the screen. Is that what it is? Better?
Just sit down.
Hey,
Can you see?
what's your name here, young lady?
Athena.
Athena Rose. This is Athena Rose. She's ready for a weekend. A nice fall weekend. And your name is... As you can see, they're a little tired from the week. This is Alana Joe Micah.
Hi.
Hi. How about you? You can come over here. We can't even see you. You gotta stand right in front of them. Gotta get in the camera. There you go. What's your name?
Mason.
That's Mason. As you can tell, super enthusiastic right now. It's the weekend and we're all a little bit tired. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
No.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and begin. Oops, gotta turn this on. Welcome to episode 50 of the Housing Debrief. So, I'm a quantitative economics decision sciences major from UC San Diego in La Jolla, the sister school of UCLA, the one without a football team. 29 years in the business, Orange County native, Capital Valley High School grad, 9 kids. I'm an avid runner, and these are our kids. I brought 6, my wife brought 2. I adopted hers, she adopted mine. We had that guy, Zeke. He's sleeping right now. I'm sure he'll wake up in the middle of this, and we'll see if we can get him on camera. He's been a little shy the last couple of weeks. I've been in the press, and our company is Reports on Housing, your local real estate snapshot. We don't focus that much on closed sales. We do include them, but it's not really it's not meant to just drive home a bunch of charts and stats and cold data. It's about explaining what's going on in the marketplace right now today. It's like driving down the housing freeway and you want to know what's going on. You got to look all around. How many homes are on the market? That's supply. Demand, that's the last 30 days worth of new escrow activity. Properties placed into escrow, that tells you demand. So based upon the supply and demand, you can get the speed of the market, and that's expected market time. We're going to be talking about that today, because we'll be talking about days on market versus expected market time. So, but it's the real true accurate depiction of how fast we're going in the marketplace. That's the expected market time based upon supply and demand. It's about setting expectations, and we have reports that dot all over Southern California, and a different report for each. The most recent one that came out, this is for along the coast, Orange County, San Diego, and Los Angeles got season's greetings. And there's a reason for this. We're going to get into what's going on with the seasonality. All of a sudden, we are finally hitting some seasons, and we're coming out of a spring market. It will be hotter during the season, but there are some things that are changing as far as supply and demand. And this is what we talk about in the most recent report, so it better explains the expectations of what's going on in the marketplace from here through the end of the year and the beginning of 2021. Our company, and this is our website, Reports on Housing. You go there to subscribe, and it comes out every 2 weeks. So I told you OC, San Diego, LA came out this week. Next week is San Bernardino, Riverside. We actually crunched the numbers last night, and we're putting together the reports that come out this coming up week for San Bernardino and Riverside. So we alternate weeks between Inland Empire and the coast. And it's $15 per month or $150 per year. It's intentionally inexpensive, and you get a month free if you sign up today. Oh, and by the way, Mason, can you do me a favor and go downstairs really quick and yes, because we actually broadcast from upstairs. Can you go get my Starbucks cup? I forgot one of my props, darn it. Good thing I have lots of kids sitting around. This one's reading in the background. So you get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code SEASONS, because we're going to talk a little bit about seasons today. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, Monarch Coast Financial, Kevin Buddy. And at Monarch Coast Financial, of course, there's more than one kind of borrower, and they have more than one kind of loan. They make it nice, and they've got a lot of unique different offerings depending upon what you're looking for, from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing and even private money. So everything from full doc to private money and everything in between. He has loads and loads of experience. He's been helping buyers finance their dream homes for a very, very long time. He's been doing this since 1976. Pretty outstanding. So Kevin Buddy knows his stuff. He knows it inside and out. He's very reliable, trustworthy. He's a good friend of mine. Your buddy, my buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. You can reach him you can contact him today or when you need him at 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. And thanks again, Kevin, for the continued sponsorship. So, we're going to get into some fall fun photos really quick. And I loved this one. Saw this on Facebook and I had to share it just because it's pretty cool. If one door opens and another closes, your house is haunted. Call me, I can sell it. That's pretty good. Or how about this one? Me carrying around all the patience I have left for 2020. This much. Tiny little bag. This is actually sent to me by my beautiful bride. How about this one? Teenage umbilical cord. So true. Whew. Sorry, Bryce, Kyler, Michaela, Brendan. Now Mia. Me in 2019, people are crazy. If they put their Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving, man, that's nuts. Me in October 2020, OMG, I needed this. I actually said that to my wife today after going to Starbucks today, and they had it all decorated. I was going, yay, a change in the scenery. String up those lights. And this, speaking of lights and holidays, how about this ornament for 2020? It's actually real. You could buy this. This is for sale. Ingenious. Santa with the mask. That's how he's going to have to do it this year. And then I wanted to share this because this is, Michaela, our oldest, she divided her face into 4 quadrants, and she allowed Mia, Alana, Athena, and Mason to each have a quarter of her face. And then she did her arm and had Zeke do her arm. So
Do what to her?
Oh, she was decorated. Would do what? I got my thank you. Actually decorated for Halloween because we were putting a lot of makeup on everybody and we were getting everybody ready for Halloween. And sure enough, this is how it turned out. The arm, as you can see, compliments of Zeke, and some of them actually signed the face. I thought this was pretty fantastic. That's fun. And then I did this on Snapchat. I reversed Zeke's face with mine and put my face onto Zeke's. That makes him a very ugly baby. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Zeke. He's a handsome little baby, but see how great looking? Oh my. Whew. Had to share it because it was so funny. So the Southern California market, now we're going to go into it's very, very hot. It's been, the speed of the market has been very, very hot. We've been speeding for a very long time, and it continues to be that way. But we are transitioning into what I refer to as the autumn market, the fall market. And we normally go into this at the end of August and go all the way to the first couple weeks in November. Now, instead, we're going into it right now, and it'll be short-lived for the next couple of weeks, or actually this week and the next week, and then after that, we're going to get towards Thanksgiving slowdown. So what happens is demand will drop. This is what happens with the fall markets. We're getting a really tiny autumn market, because we got this really long spring, a little short summer market, and the spring market started in June and really heated up in July and August and September. And even for like a week in October, then demand came down a little bit, and we were running into what we call a summer market. And it was just a little short, like 4-week window, and now we're into the fall market. That's where demand drops, and so does the supply of homes. And now, though, after this next coming up week, we're going to move really quickly into the holiday market. And what happens is demand drops even faster. Why does that happen? We'll get into that, but demand drops even faster. There's all the distractions of the holidays. Buyers don't necessarily want to go into, want to continue to search. They want to enjoy the holidays a bit, so there's a little bit less buyer activity. But at the same time, supply drops faster too. There's more and more homes that are, there are fewer and fewer homes coming on the market, and there are more homes that have been on the market for a long period of time with no success, most likely because of price. They're going to be throwing in the towel come the holidays. They realize this year's done, I'm going to wait until spring of 2021. So we'll talk about supply, and this is where supply was a week ago. And that was October 29th, a week ago yesterday, 25,426. That's where it was at. It was down 2% or 576 homes in 2 weeks. And then last year we were at 39,340. You can see the difference between this year and last year. That's the bar right there. And today we're at 25,101. So in 1 week we've already stripped over 300 homes. So it's on that continued pace that we were on, that where we've dropped 2%, we're dropping 1%. By next week it'll be 2%. So you can see we're on our way down. Thank you very much. I will. We're getting into it.
Sorry.
Yes. So the Southern California active listing inventory, and my wife being extremely helpful. I love it. She's reminding me of my prop. So Southern California active listing inventory, this is where it is. You draw a line across, and it's the lowest level since April 2013. That just shows you where we're at today is a very, very, very low level. And it's, I don't have to add that. Let's talk about the active listing inventory and where it's at right now. So where we're going to continue to go. We're going to in this 2 weeks, this week and then next week has been this little fall market, and this is where we continue to go down. Then after we get towards Thanksgiving, and really it's the week before that, we start to get fewer and fewer homes that come on the market. Then all of a sudden, and we drop, and we go into the holidays. And you know, the holidays are upon us. Absolutely, because check it out. This is what I got today. If you haven't seen it yet, it's the latest. And my wife said, what is that color? It's teal at the bottom there. So this is the new Starbucks cup. It started today, which means they're here. Holidays are here. They've got the different flavors now, different lattes going on, so you can go and check that out. But when you see this, and I know that we haven't even hit Thanksgiving, but it really indicates that holidays are here right now. So, and then what happens is you have fewer homeowners coming on the market, and then you have sellers throwing in the towel, like I said. Southern California housing demand has been really powerful and hot, and that's because we have this. This is where the interest rates were as of yesterday. This is Freddie Mac, comes out every Thursday, and this is their survey of interest rates across the United States. It's at 2.78%. Guess what? New record. Remember, 2.8 was the lowest, and that was 2 weeks ago. Last week it hit 2.81. This week it's 2.78. There have been 12 record lows this year. This is the 12th record low this year. So it's been driving down lower and lower, which just continues to, lure more and more buyers into the marketplace, and keeps it incredibly elevated and hot. So here's demand, completely elevated, like I said. So this is where we're at. This was actually last week. It went down 1% in 2 weeks, 20,127. And where are we? And last year we were at 14,831. And that's 26% less than where we are right now today. And if you look at that today, we're at 19,687. So 1 week later, we were down another 2%. So we're shedding more demand. So we're shedding supply almost at the same rate that we're shedding demand. Actually, this demand is a little bit more than the supply this time around, but it's usually almost at that same rate until we get further into the holidays, and then demand diminishes a little bit more, and you have some lingering inventory. But we're going to have a very, very hot winter, and I'll explain that in a minute. But you can see where we're at as far as demand. It's the lowest demand. or the highest strength, strongest demand reading since 2012. That just gives you an idea of how hot everything is. So we have extremely low supply and very hot demand, especially for this time of year. And it's teeing up a great holiday run as well as an incredible start to 2021, which will continue to manifest itself into a hot spring market. And so this is what's happening with what will continue to happen with demand. So this is the fall. It will continue to go low at that, down at that trajectory, and then we're going to hit Thanksgiving, and it will fall. Holidays, it falls even further, and it falls at a more rapid rate. Buyers, they just want to go enjoy the holidays, put their feet up, enjoy family time, that type of thing, and that's really what happens at that period of time, the holidays. So we're just about to hit that holiday market, and but we're still going really fast, because remember, my expected market time takes into account both supply and demand, both at the same exact time. So we have a diminishing supply and a diminishing demand. Well, you're saying if you're having the diminishing demand, the market should slow down, right? Well, the buyers that do remain, there's also diminishing supply. So there's still not that many homes for them to go out and see, because there is a diminishing supply at the same time that we're getting that diminishing demand. So you can see if 10 buyers were to leave the marketplace and another 20 homes were to come off the market, that's kind of what's going on right now. Yes, there are fewer buyers in the marketplace, yet there are fewer homes for sale. And the expected market time has remained flat during this time period, even though we've got diminishing supply and diminishing demand. So the expected market time, the overall feel is the same. So a week ago, yesterday, October 29th, we're at a 30-day expected market time. It did not change in 2 weeks. SoCal last year was at 80 days, so that's the difference between this year and last year. And today, if I take into consideration today's active listing inventory and today's demand, that's the last 30 days worth of escrows, we're still at 30-day expected market time. It hasn't changed at all, even though there are these changes going on. And that's the flavor. It kind of feels the same if you're a buyer. You're going, oh my gosh, I thought that with diminishing demand it would be easier to transact in November and December, and that's not necessarily the case. So the expected market time, if I draw a line across, you can see it is July through October, actually now through November, is the lowest level since tracking, period. Just know that when I draw a line across, we've never been here before. And it's staying flat at that low level. Remember, the speed of the market is how fast you're going. If you have the expected market time, if you place your home on the market, when are you opening up escrow down the road? How long is it going to take for you to open up escrow? If that number is short, the market's really, really hot. It's really, really fast. If that number is long, it's a really, really slow market, and you're only going like 5 miles per hour. That's why I say we're going like 120 miles per hour, because by and large, we're at 39 days for the expected market time for all of Southern California. There's some ranges that are even hotter. So this is a 60-day expected market time. This is a hot seller's market. I went over last week what the different levels are. But this is a hot seller's market. This is where you're appreciating when you're below this line. And that's where we have been behaving for quite some time, and it's not going anywhere. For the rest of this fall, it's kind of flat. I showed you that right now within the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Hasn't done anything. Hasn't really changed. So, but then once we get into the holidays, yes, things will slow down a little bit. And part of that is because there's not enough homeowners that throw in the towel. And there are fewer homes that come on the market, but their demand diminishes a bit, and it rises just slightly. You can see this is 2017, this was 2019, and don't disregard 2018. That was when we had interest rates go all the way up to 5%. That's a different story, different storyline. But so home values will be increasing for the rest of the year and into the start of 2021, and my prognostication is through the spring of 2021 is going to be hot. And I wanted to show you where we are as far as closed sales. And October 2020, I don't know why they all came on the same, the highest level since 2017. It is up 17% year over year. So this is the purple line versus this line, and this level just beat out August. And that's October, that's September. Actually, September beat out September barely, and prior to that, so it's the highest level since 2017. So that just shows you how strong these numbers are in a row. And but luxury has been off the hook. And if you look at that, this is luxury. Look at that. This year, we're hitting record levels. A record was above 2,000 for all of Southern California, above 2,500. Now look at, we're above 3,000. And if I show you right now, just October, I just want to show you really quick, this is at 3,120. It's never been above 3,000, and it's up 96% compared to last year. It means it's almost double. When that says up 100%, that's double. So it's nearly double where we were last year. That's how many closed sales. And as far as luxury is concerned, it's 1.25 million plus for Orange County, San Diego, 1.5 million plus for LA, and above 650,000 for Riverside and San Bernardino. So let's talk about a deeper, let's do a little deeper look into days on market. I don't know why I have a question mark on that. I left it from last week. But days on market versus expected market time is really what I want to get into. And the reason for that is because I'm going to show you why days on market is not a good statistic. And days on market is just a statistical where they take the average of all the homes on the market and how many days on the market it's been. So you take a whole bunch of listings and you get that average. So you average out the number of days it's on the market. However, it is easily distorted. Days on market is a statistic that is easily distorted based upon the number of homes that are coming on versus off and all that good stuff. And as far as when the spring is concerned, we will start with the spring market. Everything flies off the market. So when we're in the spring, there's very few homes that come on the market, usually from February through about mid-May. We do get homes coming on the market, but they go into escrow just as fast as they come on, so everything's flying on the market. So what is left, the stuff that actually sits, cuts into when you do the averages. So the stuff that sits and is overpriced, it accumulates days on market. And as a result, it's skewed too high. So it's giving everybody the wrong impression that the market is slower than it really is. And then you get into the summer and market downshifts slightly. And that's where you get, you have more homes that are coming on the market. And then you have, the demand diminishes just a little bit because of all the summer distractions. So as more listings are coming on. But it actually becomes, because of that, it's actually a more accurate reading when I look back in time. Summer time, average days of market kind of coincides with where the expected market time is. But there are differences, and one of those differences was 2004, which is exactly why I started the housing report back in 2004. I actually did the housing report myself for my own sellers back in the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s before I sold off my book of business for referral fee. And this was the reason I started to do it for a whole company at first. And that's when the housing report was born. Because in the summer of 2004, June of 2004, all of a sudden a plethora of homes came on the market. So we had a ton of homes come on the market. The average days on market dropped considerably. And it made it look like it was going to go fast, right, when you take that average. However, demand dropped because all of a sudden a whole bunch of homes came in the market, demand dropped a lot, and so we started to get this accumulation of inventory with demand dropping. So really, the expectations of the market were, oh my gosh, things aren't selling, and everybody's wondering what was going on. So the average days on market was low, but the true expected market time was a lot higher than the average days on market. So that is why I created the report for everybody, and I started to do it county-wide. So I had already had that expected market time that I actually did for sellers back in the 90s, like I said. That's what happens when you're a quantitative economics and decision sciences major and you're representing sellers way back in the day. So, and in the fall, market downshifts more. So we get the active listing inventory. There's fewer homes coming on the market, so the active listing inventory starts to fall. And there are some, they're going into escrow, but it's the third busiest time of the year. So it's spring, summer, fall, then winter holidays. Actives and pendings drop. So that's where we also get pending sales drop. So it's not the most advantageous time for families to move. What is left is overpriced and sits. And that skews the market too high again. So you do have diminishing supply and you have diminishing demand, so it's kind of like remaining the same, but the stuff that you're still placing things into escrow but the stuff that lingers is artificially skewing the data too high. And then we have the holidays. market downshifts even more. And that's what we're about to go into. That's where we get actives and pendings drop a lot. So we have the pending sales counts for the last 30 days that I do drops quite a bit. And so does the supply. There aren't as many homes coming to market and people pull their homes off of the market. What is left are stubbornly overpriced properties that sit. And when you have stubbornly overpriced properties where I'm going to still try it out, we're going to continue to do it, what that does, it dramatically skews it too high. And this is probably where it's off the most when you're looking at average days on market. And that's why everybody assumes that, oh, this is the best time to take advantage of the market is during December. And it's actually not true. I cannot show it data statistically that it's better to purchase a home in December. It's almost no difference between December and October. Yes, the expected market time increases a little bit once you get to August and you start fall, but it's almost the same from August all the way through January. So the expected market time, on the other hand, is like the heartbeat of the market. It really does give you the pulse of what's going on right now today. And that's because it takes into consideration both the supply of homes and the number of escrows over the last 30 days. This will kind of help you understand it. Let's say that we have 100 homes that come on the market, right? There's 100 homes on the market right now. And in the last 30 days, there were 50 escrows in 30 days that were opened up. So if there's 100 left after 50 are also in escrow within the last 30 days, how long would it take to exhaust this 100 homes? About 2 months. You 50 for 1 month. If nothing new came on and you just placed everything into escrow at the same velocity that we're at right now, you're looking at 2 months that it would take to exhaust 100. So 50 for this next month and then 50 for the month after that. So it would take 2 months. It would be a 60-day. It takes 60 days to drain the inventory. I'm going to have to click my mouse a little bit more than I thought I was going to, but because I didn't do these transitions very well. But if you have 100 homes and there's 100 that go into escrow in 30 days, what does that do? Well, now it only takes 30 days to drain the inventory. Because if you have 100 homes in the market and it's going at the rate of 100 into escrow within 30 days, it's only going to take 1 month to deplete everything based upon the current velocity of demand. This is what we're experiencing right now throughout Southern California, is that kind of a hot market where we're placing things into escrow almost as rapidly as the overall inventory. And we have some markets that like San Diego and Riverside and San Bernardino that are just absolutely hot. They're right at that 30-day mark that looks just like that. Orange County is a little bit higher and LA is even higher than that. And then how about 100 homes on the market and 10 go into escrow in 30 days? What does that look like? Well, that's a lot slower. So if you have 100 homes on the market and there's only 10 going into escrow in a given 30-day period, it would take, how long would it take to exhaust 100? It would take 10 months. At 10 per month, it would take 10 months. And if you see that would take 300 days to drain the inventory. We've been here before. This was the Great Recession. This is why home values came down. When you have 300-day expected market time or even higher, there was a point where we had an expected market time that was approaching 500 days. So when it's that slow, you have a lot of homes in the market and very few escrows. It takes a long time to drain the inventory based upon the current velocity of demand. So you can see, and I'm going to show you just in Orange County what that all means. Days on market for all of Orange County is 62 days right now. That's the average days on market. What is the expected market time? 39 days. So if you're going to tell what the true flavor of the market is, 62 sounds too long, 39 is about right. And I'll give you what it looks like. Actives below 1 million, days on market is 45 days. That's the average days on market. And the expected market time is 27 days. This is what it feels like. This is really, really hot and rapid. This is skewed with properties that are overpriced because there are still homes on the market, believe it or not, that have been on the market for 60 days plus below $1 million in Orange County and below $650,000 in San Bernardino Riverside, below $1 million in LA and San Diego as well. There's a lot of homes that have been on the market for more than 2 months. Those are the stuff that are overpriced that sit and they artificially skew things too high. Between 1 million and 2 million days on market, average days on market is 56 days, and expected market time is 48 days. Not as negative of a snapshot, but still it is off. This is really the true reflection of the pulse of the market right now. But how about a 2 million plus? The average days of market is 104 days. The expected market time is 148 days. See, exaggerates it as it being lower. So when you give that average days of market statistic in the luxury ranges, it's gonna look low when really their expectations should be a lot longer. So you can see it really depicts what's going on in the marketplace with the expected market time. And then I show this. This is for Orange County. I kind of did this for fun just to see what it was by range. You can see 35 days below 500 to 57 days. This is the average days of market. Wow, 57 versus 35 days. This is too high, this average days of market. Then you have, this is 25-day expect market time, 5 to 7:15. This is 35 days. Still too high of an expect, this gives the wrong idea because it's faster than this. Same thing with this, faster, 751 million. Same thing with 1 to 1.25. But then once you get to 1.25 to 1.5 million, which is only 8% of the market, it's okay. And then 1.5 to 2 million, it's okay. And how about this one? This is where it starts going the wrong direction. The true expected market time is 116 days, and now it's too low, 85 days. And 255 days for 4 million plus, 134, too low. So you can see average days of market kind of skews things, and it just depends upon what's going on in the marketplace. If all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of homes that are on the market, but yet demand all of a sudden just because interest rates drop considerably, like overnight, you're going to get tremendous demand, and the average days of market's not going to reflect how hot the market is. So once again, what I think you should do with days of market is throw it in the trash can. You really need expected market time. And let's talk about COVID. And people say, Stephen, why did you talk about COVID? I've stripped off a whole bunch of slides, but because what happens with COVID, it's kind of like goes hand in hand with the economy. Until we get past this, COVID is going to affect our economy. You could see it in travel industry, you could see it in stadiums and concessions and entertainment and all that stuff. There's blockbuster movies that are being delayed, and there's so many ramifications of having a pandemic that it will continue to linger in our economy until we have a proper vaccine and people get vaccinated. So I'm only going to bring up a few slides. And one is the EU. You can see they've gone the wrong direction. They're at 7.4 million total, and this is where they're at right now. And they're averaging 270,000 cases per day for the last 7 days. It's sticky high. At least they hit around the 200,000 mark, and now it's kind of like holding right around there, but still. It's not good at all, and as a result, they're locking down a lot of Europe because it got way out of hand. The second wave was gigantic, because if you look, this is where their first wave was. Look at their second wave. This is just astronomical. So, and then I compare it to what's going on with the United States. You can see this is the first wave. This is our summer. We did this other thing along the Sun Belt, and then now it's going up again. It's not as bad as the European Union, but it is definitely kind of following this trajectory upward. And while we were busy voting and watching election stuff and all that stuff, we went over 100,000 cases. So, and this is normalized by population, because they're adding a lot more cases than we are in the United States, but I normalized it by population just so that we could see how much our country is being affected compared to EU. This is where the United States is right now. Draw a line across, and you can see every time I do this report, it's getting higher and higher, and it's going the wrong direction. We're at 9.8 million cases. We're about to hit 10 million probably over the weekend, and this is where we are right now. And last week we're at 61,000 cases for the 7-day average every single day, 61,000. And now today, when we take that average going back 7 days, we're at 95,000. So you can see we've been going from 40 to 60 to 95,000, almost at 100,000 cases on average per day. And this is California, and it's at 958,000. So I'm only bringing up the Europe and the United States so we can see kind of where things are going, so we can understand that there will be some impact in the economy if it continues to go down this direction. So California is at 958,000, and this is where we are right now, and it's at was at 4,300 last week. It's at 4,700, so it's moving up higher. We have lockdown protocols in California, so we're not like some other states that are really getting hammered. Texas is one of those that's getting hammered right now, and actually Texas numbers surpassed California. Where they just did it, and a few weeks ago we've been playing around the same thing, but Texas is having a bigger problem than what we're having in California. And as far as unlocking things, this came out on Wednesday instead of Tuesday because the election was on Tuesday, so California gave it an additional day. And I could tell you this is actually going the wrong direction. This got better. This is the positivity rates. We have one of the best positivity rates in the country. And for the average, it's actually at 9% positivity rate for the whole country, which is going too high. But if you look at that, that's the positivity test rate per 100,000 per day, and it's been on the rise. So I'm just going to go over some real quick things because I care about this because if things open up, of course, the economy will start to improve. But I personally am starting to see, I'm tracking it by zip code, some different things that are around us as well. So if you look at this is where everybody is behaving right now. Now, LA County, they're the only county that got a little bit better. So they went from like 7.8 to 7.5. They need to get well below 7, like 6.9 or below for them to move down to red. But I don't think it's going to happen because the whole U.S. is going the wrong direction right now. Orange County got a little bit worse here. Riverside County got a little bit worse here in the last week, so it's not trending in the right direction. San Bernardino a little bit worse, and San Diego got worse enough where it's purple. And that's, oh no, here we go again. If they're there for 3 weeks, they could follow Riverside's path. And Riverside's path was, they were in red and they had to go back to burgundy. But here's the thing, they said you have to be in this negative column for 2 weeks and then you'll go. They've laxed their standards and it's actually 3 weeks. They let you argue about it for an additional week. So if these numbers continue to be negative next week and then the following week again at purple, then San Diego will shift to purple. We'll just have to wait and see how the numbers look going down. So I'm looking at that because it impacts our economy locally, those different tiers that the state does. Now, as far as the macroeconomic outlook is concerned, this is where unemployment rate is. This came out this morning. It was actually pretty positive. This is at 6.9%, so it was a drop of about 1% from the prior. And you can see, this is where unemployment went almost towards 15%. I think that's where we're at. Oop. There we go. Yeah, it's almost at 15%. And then it dropped. And it's been dropping really fast. You can see here, this was the Great Recession. It lingered for a long time. This took years. And here we've done this in such a short period of time that things are starting to look a lot better. If you draw lines across, I mean, now we're better than the 1990s. That was the savings and loan scandal, and that was that recession. So we're already dropped below that. So we're on the right trajectory. Now, I expect this initial claims for unemployment insurance to continue to be elevated. The average, the peak in the Great Recession was 665,000, and this is our high. And the reason why it's the initial unemployment claims are high is because we have people going into unemployment, out of unemployment, back into unemployment because of the COVID and how it affects different industries. So, and then we have forbearance. I just want people to know it dropped from 5.9 to 5.83%, and now it's at 2.9 million homeowners that are in forbearance, and it was all the way at 4.3 million in June. So you can see it's trending the right direction the longer this goes on. So part of that is because the employment figures are looking a little bit better as well. And purchase applications, this is done by the Mortgage Bankers Association's up 25% year over year, which just says that people are applying for mortgages to purchase homes, and it's up 25% year over year, which means that it looks good for the rest of the year and into 2021 based upon just purchase applications. So this just is kind of a leading indicator of where we're going. And it's been 24 weeks straight of year over year gains. Absolutely fantastic. So go to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and we'll get to Q&A in just a second. But you get a month free if you sign up utilizing, it's $15 per month or $150 per year. And if you sign up utilizing the coupon code of SEASONS. So go to Reports on Housing and use coupon code SEASONS and you'll get a free month. And I would like to, of course, thank Kevin Buddy from Monarch Coast Financial for, again, sponsoring us. They have more than one kind of borrowers, they have more than one kind of loan, and they do everything from full doc loans to private money loans and everything in between. And he's got loads of experience and has helped buyers for years finance their dream homes. He's been doing this since 1976. So contact Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial at 949-422-2075. And really quick, I'm going to tell you, so we're going to have one more housing debrief, episode 51, that's next week. After that, we're going to go dark for the holidays and come back after the new year. But in the month of December, I will be bringing our forecast, our 2021 forecast, to Facebook Live. So that will be in the month of December. I haven't quite figured out which Friday it will be, but it will be either the first or second Friday of December. And we're also looking for sponsors for that. So if you would like to sponsor the 2021 forecast in December, please reach out to me and contact me. You can instant message me on Facebook. So let's get into happy hour Q&A. We are there. Happy hour Q&A. So I will go ahead and answer questions. I'm going to trade in this Starbucks cup of coffee for a beer. And I see my daughter wanted. People always ask what I'm having. I'm having an Alaskan Amber. There we go. Cheers, everybody. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. Go ahead and ask me a question, and until we have our first question, I'll go ahead and have myself a sip of Alaskan Amber. All right. So, anybody have a question? This is your Q&A. It says, "Hi Stephen, the 2.78 fixed rate mortgage you're quoting is up to what dollar size?" Yeah, we all know that really it depends upon your credit, but you can get that up into the extended, what do they call? There's conventional, and then there's the, I'm losing my train of thought because I haven't had much sleep, but it's up to, in Orange County, it's that additional amount, right around $750,000 loan amount, but it really depends upon what your credit looks like and different factors like down payment, things along those lines. So they're starting to get more lax, but it was a lot more rigid and it was harder to get the lower interest rates unless you fit a tiny little box, and that box is slowly but surely beginning to expand as the economy and everything continues to improve. So I expect that to be the case where it continues to improve, and it will there will be more and more people that qualify for those low mortgage rates. What that still means is, though, that if you finance something, let's say a year ago, and you're looking at a much better rate today. So that's if you have clients or you're a homeowner, and a good suggestion is to look at refinancing, just because the rates are so favorable compared to where they were just a year ago. Those forbearance numbers were nationwide. Yes, that is nationwide across the U.S. 2.9 million people, and it continues to diminish over time. So and I've talked about before, there will be foreclosures down the road in 2021, and it's going to it will occur, but it's not going to be as negative as what people think. So it's not going to be a wave, it's going to be what I call a boat wake. So there will be more, but it won't be what a lot of people are anticipating. That's a great beer. It is a good beer. Jumbo conforming. Thank you, Laura. So it just depends. I heard somebody told me that they've seen rates in like at 1.9%, and it's got to be some sort of gimmick. Doesn't really make much sense when there's quotes of that low of an interest rate. Do you ever encourage sellers to wait to put their home on the market until after the holidays? Yeah, right now, I know the market's good right now, and it will continue to be good through the start of the year. So you know what you know, and if you have somebody that just wants to make sure they take advantage of a very hot market, well, it's currently right now today. But as far as my forecast is concerned, it's going to be continued to be hot into 2021. So with that said, you could wait if you want to, but as properties appreciate, just know that if you're moving up, you could understand that if you take a look at if let's say you have a $500,000 townhome, and property values are going up 5%. So if you wait, yeah, you're going to get $525,000 down the road when it goes up 5%. Now, and I think we could do that during the springtime. Now, if you're looking to move up to an $800,000 house, that same $800,000 house, it goes up 5% as well. Now you're looking at $840,000 for that house. So that went up $40,000 versus your townhome that only went up $25,000. So the longer you waited, if you're domino moving up, well then it's better to pull the trigger now. So it all depends upon the circumstances and the individual needs of your client as to what you should do. So let's see. Hi Steve, I have a question. How does this real estate market will affect the price of undeveloped land in Southern California? As far as where undeveloped land is concerned, all of a sudden there's an appetite by builders to build, and they haven't bought enough land to take care of the amount of just how optimistic they are about the marketplace. They want to take advantage of it. So I think that will put pressure on prices to go up for land. I mean, that's what we're seeing is values going up. It's a supply and demand issue. It's like that for housing. It's like that for land. It just depends upon where the land is located as well. So, but I definitely see there's pressure on land. If Biden is elected, will rates see an immediate impact? I did the thing on rates last week, and it just depends upon how everybody sees it, the equity market sees it. And at first there's going to be some volatility, but here's the things that I'm looking at where I think that will have a bigger impact on the 10-year Treasury. And we're already seeing some movement where it's gone up and then it went down. It's kind of been all over the place, a seesaw lately. I think it's going to be more along the lines of we are going to see an increase once we get the FDA approval of the vaccine. Once we get this next relief package, that will be positive news for the economy as well. As we get more and more good jobs reports down the road, that too will make the 10-year Treasury rise, and will have an impact on interest rates. All the positive news that's out there, and then down the road we can get stimulus packages, that too will do it. When we get more and more people vaccinated, that too will be positive news. So as more and more positive news comes out, yes, it will have an impact. But at the same time, there will be some negative news that hits us, and when that happens, we'll see the 10-year come down. So the 10-year doesn't continue to go up or anything like that. It's just the seesaw that you have to follow on an ongoing basis. So that would be my recommendation, to continue to watch the 10-year Treasury as you see different news come on. What do you predict appreciation will be in 2021? Depends upon the area, but I'm seeing it anywhere from a low of 4% to a high of 7%, depending upon the county. But we'll get into that in the forecast that we have coming up in December, and I'll even know more by then and be able to polish up that forecast. The last report of the year for all of my subscribers is a written form of my forecast, so that you can get that out to your buyers and sellers and sphere of influence and family and friends and all that. Do you have the 2021 market forecast for Irvine? Yeah, it's not necessarily Irvine. It's what's going on in all of Orange County. I do that on a county-wide basis. You showed us how the EMT and days of market numbers differ. Question: if you graph them, do the trends parallel each other? I don't have my wife here, so I can't see more. Like, I want to see more on it. So. I only got to the meaning, so if you can continue to expand upon that, Robert, I'd appreciate it. You showed us how. I have not graphed it because there is a definite differentiation, and the difference really comes in the where you're looking at finally you anticipate home value appreciation will continue increase. Why? Okay, so expected market, I haven't graphed it. I've looked at it over time just to see where it's at. And like I told you, there's different times where it comes closer together and further apart, closer together, because it's days of market's not an accurate reflection of it. It's a good idea to take it. I mean, maybe that's a project that we do and have that charted out for everybody. So we could definitely do something like that. But I don't have that right now, and it's maybe a good idea to put it in a future episode down the road in 2021, which is just around the corner. But yeah, because it would definitely show the fluctuations, and especially by price range too. You can just see how probably would run a very, very parallel, but it just would not give an accurate depiction about how long you're going to be waiting on the market. If you place your home on the market, when you're going to open up escrow, if you take the average days on market, it's not really going to tell you that. So finally, you anticipate home values appreciation will continue to increase. Why? Supply and demand. So I think interest rates are, and that's part of my forecast is forecasting where interest rates are going to go over the course of 2021, so we're going to be continuing to see an impact in a change in rates over the next year. But where I see us starting out the year as far as interest rates are concerned, as well as where supply is, because we're going to have a record low supply to start off the year. In many, many counties, except for LA. LA is still going to be very low, but it's not going to be a record low. But for all the other counties, they're going to have a record low number of homes on the market since I've been tracking the numbers. And in Orange County, I've been tracking it back since 2004. So where we're going to start off the year, like let's say, for example, Orange County will be at 3,000 homes or even less, into the twos, which is way too low. So you have very, very low supply. And we don't all of a sudden place a whole bunch of homes on the market. So we have a very, very low supply, and we'll have low interest rates that will continue to juice demand. Even some of the buyers that will be sidelined a little bit for the holidays will come back online in January, and it will be a very, very hot-paced market with very, very few homes coming on the market at the very beginning of the year. So we'll already be realizing a hot seller's market. I'm anticipating by the third week of January, it will be an extremely hot market. And then we'll start to see appreciation. So when you have very few homes in the market, you have a lot of buyers vying for that same property. It's kind of like what I used before, that analogy of a Cabbage Patch doll in 1983. There were very few Cabbage Patch dolls. Everybody wanted it. So you could actually go out and sell it for 4 or 5 times the actual value that you purchased it for at a Gymco, like what my dad did. So so basically we have this hot commodity of very few homes on the market and lots of buyers wanting to purchase those homes. And what happens is buyers are willing to stretch, especially when rates are nice and low, because when you look at the difference in payment, which I've done that in different episodes, you add an extra $20,000, $25,000, it's not that much extra per month when the interest rates are so low. So it's one of those things where people are saying, well, I'm just going to go ahead and stretch. And so you get these stretches in the prices. You get people to waive appraisals, and then, or if the appraisal comes in, everything's fine. But when they're stretching, you're seeing values go up, and that's going to happen at the very beginning of the year and work its way through the spring. So I don't anticipate us getting a ton of homes on the market and a real buildup of the inventory until we get to around March, maybe the end of March, and that's what happened in 2013, and it has a real feel that 2021 is going to feel a lot like 2013. So let's see. In terms of the supply in LA, do you have any specific areas where demand will be lower than others? Yeah, I actually did a funny, it's not funny, but I did a study on it because I had a presentation for doing a forecast at a office in West Hollywood. Cheers for a second. Needed to wet my whistle. So and right around Hollywood and Beverly Hills, there were a lot of markets that were actually slower than a year ago. And if I go everywhere else in Southern California, it's pretty darn hot, except for downtown areas like downtown LA and downtown San Diego, some of the high-rise stuff. But other than that, it's been exceptionally hot. But there's this pocket right around that area of West Hollywood where I was looking at a whole bunch of properties and different ranges and cities, and the expected market time, that's the speed of the market, was actually slower than where we were a year ago. And I don't find that many markets where that's the case. So I saw a big swatch of it. Let's see. Do you anticipate January, February 2021 to be hotter than January, February 2020 prior to COVID? Yes. Supply and demand, because look at where interest rates are today. We're going to have fewer homes on the market at the beginning of 2021 compared to the start of 2020. And on top of that, we're going to have interest rates that are even lower that are just going to heat things up. That's hilarious. Good hair day. All right. So if there aren't any more questions, I mean, I'll take another swig. If there's another question, go ahead and ask it, because I'll just wet my whistle again with this delicious Alaskan amber. That's a really mighty fine beer. So I guess we're not having that many more questions. If you have any questions, go ahead and enter it into the feed. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. So I'm just going to say, enjoy this weekend. It's kind of like one of these cool fall weekends, which will be that reminder that we're in fall. Finally, it'll really feel like fall. And then we'll get into, so it'll be this fall weekend, then we'll get into the holidays in like another week from this week. It'll feel like the holidays. And remember, head to your local Starbucks. Look at this. This is a great commercial for them, but you see this is the new holiday cup. And the holidays are here. Thanksgiving's here, then we've got all the rest of the holidays knocking on our door, and what that means is we're going to start this holiday market. So enjoy this fall weekend, and we'll see you on the other side. Next week will be my final episode of the Housing Debrief until 2021. We will bring our forecast for 2021 in the month of December, either the first or second Friday in December. I'll let everybody know out there. But other than that, have a fantastic weekend, enjoy it, and we'll see you next week.